What, how, why? Coming up next. Hey guys, welcome back and welcome to episode 2 of Building an Online Business from Scratch. So in the previous episode, I learned a couple things. Number one, I shouldn't record such a long episode. I think it was like 40 minutes or something. So this one will be significantly shorter. The rest of the ones going forward will be significantly shorter. If you missed it, all I did was kind of talk about why I was doing this project, and then of course my kind of little plan funnel of essentially setting up a webinar and then selling coaching and consulting back up on the back end of that webinar. A little call out will pop up so you can go watch that episode if you're interested. So in this one, I wanted to talk about the foundations of why we start businesses in the first place. Kind of look at the big picture, the part we skip, and there seems to be two types of entrepreneurs. There should be two types of people who seem to want to make money online. Number one, they're the ones who are really passionate about something and they have a kind of a message they want to share with the world, or they've created this cool product they want to share. And then there are the people who kind of just want to make money because the idea of having some automated business that just throws cash in your bank account every other day sounds pretty cool, right? I don't think anyone would really deny that that's something that they would like to have. Me personally, I follow more into the passion side of it. So a lot of what I've put together and what I've done strategic wise is focusing more on what I really want to do and what I enjoy doing, as opposed to just looking for the greatest opportunity to make a boatload of cash or something crazy like that. So what I want to share with you now is a framework by someone by the name of Simon Sinek, and his book, Start With Why. This is something one of my personal business coaches and mentors showed me a few years back, and it's really helped me understand putting together why I choose to do a business. So I actually did this exercise originally when I did my first business, my first online marketing business, which was teaching people how to invest in the stock market, and that one's still going. But I found that my real kind of passion or why in terms of helping people was showing people how to be successful and be financially independent, not only with investing, but also with business. So I've got the investing set up. So now I'm going to do business, and that's part of why I'm doing this crazy series with you. So hopefully you enjoy it and get a lot of value out of it. So what I'm going to do is let's just dive into my OneNote file. So we're looking here at my OneNote file, and what we have here is the guy right there. That is not me, obviously. That's Simon Sinek. He wrote the book Start With Why. And his whole premise is, companies aren't about the products they make, not necessarily about the products they make or the problems they solve, which is what you'll find in most internet marketing courses, where you're going to start with a problem, and then specifically a problem you've had, and then kind of reverse engineer your entire business to solve that problem with a elegant solution. He starts further back than that. He starts with why. And that's simply because you're asking the question, why are you doing this? Now, obviously in the beginning, I said there's two types of people that want to make money online. If you're type 2 in terms of I just want a great opportunity and make money, this exercise is going to be completely useless for you, because you're going to ask why, and it's just going to be, I want to make a bunch of money, and then you'll be done. But anyway, I want to run quickly through not necessarily his talk. I'll link to his TED Talk right here. Okay, there we go. And then just run through my 3 big circles and then the vision statement that I came up with for this particular business. And this particular business is teaching people how to become authorities in their niches. So essentially, you have a message or a solution you want to share with the world. Here's how you go out and do that as a nobody starting from scratch. So why am I doing this? Because I believe every individual possesses the capacity to control his or her financial future. My first company, the Wealth Titans, was founded on that. And I just stuck with that why. It's kind of the big question of what drives you at the end of the day. Like, what is your goal? So my big goal with all the businesses and products I start is to help people be more in control of their financial destiny or future. So whether that's getting out of credit card debt, whether that's investing in the stock market, whether that's figuring out whether or not you should be buying a house or making, big financial decisions, or how to make more money in terms of starting your business or improving in your job, all of those things have to do with being more financially independent. And that's the why and the big drive. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to do that by empowering individuals to fulfill this capacity through concrete business building and marketing systems. So my focus here is not necessarily on, the intellectual things of being an entrepreneur, like Simon Sinek here. He's not necessarily telling you, here's where you click to make a new Facebook ad, here's how you make a new AdWords campaign, whereas I'm much more focused on the technical implementation aspect of, business building. There's the things like this are definitely important, but it's not my strength. My strength is getting into the nitty-gritty details of how businesses, the internal gears of businesses turn. And so that's what I'm going to focus on, specifically marketing. Because from my own personal experience, when you're just starting out as a solopreneur or an online marketer, or online with an internet business, you're essentially an online marketer. And so I'm going to focus on how do you get your products, services, and messages in front of people, and how do we kind of systematize that? And that ties into the what. And the what is what the actual product or service will be. So I've done the why, kind of the big, what drives me personally, where's my passion coming from? And then I have the how, which is kind of the intellectual, well, this is how I'm going to do it. This is the general framework that I'm going to follow. I could have just as easily said, I'm going to make software, and I could provide software that makes landing pages or does analytics or, something like Crazy Egg or Unbounce, but there are plenty of good solutions out there, like ClickFunnels and OptimizePress. So I don't see a need to improve upon those things. Someone else might see something else that can be improved upon there, but that's just me. I just see a need in the how of providing a little more hands-on details of exactly how things work and exactly what makes them tick, as opposed to, oh, we're just going to throw up a landing page and it'll work. Like, okay, that's great, but what are the bullet points? Why do you have the headline this way? Those types of things. So that brings me to the what. And the what is, I'm going to have plug and profit blueprints and business systems to streamline the startup process, and easy to follow marketing plans for any aspiring business owner. So what does that look like? It can, on the surface, it can almost sound like business talk. What you might have seen in business school, where they come up with these really fancy words and they make these sentences and you kind of go, okay, I don't really know what that means. You used a bunch of big words just to sound smart. So here what I'm saying, plug and profit blueprints, it's a little salesy, but that's okay. It's focused on, we're not just going to say, okay, well, to make a webinar funnel, you need a landing page, and then on the landing page, you're going to say ABC, and then you need a webinar, and you'll just talk about these 3 or 4 things on the webinar, and then it's all going to be great. For me, Blueprint takes that a step further, saying this is exactly how you're going to do it. And so that's why I specifically said blueprints as opposed to a marketing course, because there are a lot of marketing courses out there that kind of talk a big game or talk on the high level. You've probably seen this in a sales presentation where they say, I just want to give you the strategies. I don't want to give you the tactic, because the strategies are timeless and the strategies are what you need. And that's great. I'm not going to discredit anyone who says I'm going to give you the strategies, but at the same time, you still need the tactics. And I think the tactics are important. And then building on that, not just giving the tactics, but giving a streamlined business system. And a system is something beyond just a blueprint. So a blueprint is where I hand you a manual that goes step by step by step by step, and then I record a bunch of tutorial videos. A system is when I hand you the manual, and then I hand you a piece of software or Excel file, which is my personal favorite. And then on top of that, I hand you a complete system. I'm saying system to describe a system, right? I hand you a complete packet so you can take everything I've just handed to you and give it to somebody else to do it for you. And then that's ultimately the whole point of business automation and passive income, is you build a team and you have other people do things for you. But you can't do that unless you have systems. You can't replicate yourself unless you have systems. You have to go through, okay, when I wake up in the morning, I do this, this, and that. You kind of chronological your day, and then you say, this I can outsource, this I can outsource, this I can outsource, this I can automate. And you're either looking for software, you're looking for a person to do that for you. So that's the core of what, and so all my products and services, specifically the product that you're gonna see me launch in this series, is based on that, just creating a system that I can hand to someone and then they just kind of fill in the blanks and run with it. And finally, we have the vision statement. And the vision statement, I won't bore you and read all through it, but essentially it's just saying, what's your big overarching mission or vision? And it should be a sentence or two, and it should be very personal. See, mine, I just repeated my why. And my why is I believe every person has the capacity to control his or her financial future. That's it, that's my why. And because I believe that, I'm going to do everything in my power to help any person that is willing to listen to me do just that, control their financial future, whatever it is. In this particular instance, it's building a online business. So you can kind of break out, start from nothing and build authority online. And what does it look like when I've accomplished that? What does that look like as I walk out my why? Well, I envision a world of financial autonomy where transparent financial education is accessible. Now, it might be weird to think of marketing a business as financial education, but I personally put it in that category, even though I wouldn't say that to an actual prospect. And this is just for me, and then I'm sharing it with you just so you can kind of go through the TED Talk and have an example of what the exercise might look like at the end of it. Just because I think anything that has to do with either making more money or saving and investing more money is financial education. I think business is financial education. So that's why I put that there. And then of course we have the 5 guiding principles, and that's just what I look for in terms of how am I going to operate my business. So when I bring someone on the team and I'm going to say, this is what we're really about, this is what we care about, and this is what the framework we're going to use or follow as we create products, services, and of course, interact with customers. So I have communicate, because that's really important. Just you want everyone in your organization and your customers to feel like they're being communicated with effectively, and it's a collaborative environment. Then I have keep it simple. That's just saying don't overcomplicate stuff. We don't need super complicated stuff. Simple is always better. Then of course lead by example. Don't just tell someone, oh yeah, you should go to the gym. Well, why don't you go to the gym first, get some results, and then tell someone they should go to the gym? And that applies to how I conduct my business and how I want people on my team to conduct business as well. And then of course, responsibility. You own up to your mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. It's part of being human. It's one thing to make a mistake. It's another thing to come up and say, oh, well, that really wasn't me. I didn't do that. Just take responsibility for it. And if you're on a team where you get hung out to dry for taking responsibility, well, then you're probably not on a good team. And I want to build a team where you're not going to get hung out to dry because you made a mistake, simple or big. And then, of course, effective, and that's just saying, we're not going to do busy work. And to realize this vision, it's just a combination of everything that's been said thus far. So that does it for episode number 2. Like I said, I want to keep these a lot shorter than the first one. And I thought it would be a good idea just to share my 3 golden circles of the why. So I'm going to include the link to Simon Sinek's TED Talk right here. So go ahead. I would highly recommend that you click on that, watch that. I mean, this exercise, especially if you're already on the fence about starting a business, you probably have an idea of what your why is, your how, and your what. And what I really like about this framework is pretty much everything you learn moving forward goes into one of these 3 circles. And to illustrate that, I'll show you a clip here. So we're back on my screen, and just showing you that I can take things from other business gurus or other marketing gurus, and I can put them in these different circles to understand how they interact with my whole business. So thank you for watching. I hope you found this informative and actionable. Please, if you got any value out of this video, go ahead and hit that like button and then subscribe for future episodes. I will be going through 0 to my first couple dollars online with this business. And this series in particular is just a behind the scenes look of what it literally looks like building a business from nothing to hopefully a couple of profits, because I'm not going to pretend like I know I'm going to be successful later. But anyway, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.